Hi guys, welcome back to yoga. I'm just looking at my phone funny because I did the update for, I think it was iOS 14, and it makes everything look a little bit weird. So I think everything's the same, but it still looks weird. So, welcome back to yoga. It is a beautiful, crisp day for our first official fall day, which you know I don't like. I miss summer already. Looks like a good sunny beach weekend this weekend, so I'm hoping we'll get at least one day at the beach. I hope you're all well. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you've done a little yoga since I saw you a few days ago. Today we are going to play around with just some simple back bends, nothing that we haven't done before or done together, but just haven't done in a little while. But back bending always feels really good, and you get to counterbalance your back bends with forward bends, which are what I love. So get comfy on your mat, palms out to your side, hands out to your side, arms out to your side, palms up, and we're going to get started. I want to apologize in advance for anything that may happen during this class because Cam is in the kitchen doing school. The dog is in her crate. Alex is eating lunch somewhere. It just could get noisy, and I'm going to say I'm sorry in advance. I'm going to do my best for that not to happen, but I don't know what will happen. So let's get started. You're lying on your back, your arms are at your side, your palms are up, and you're finding your breath, right? That nice smooth inhale and exhale, drawing the breath all the way down into your low belly, holding it there for a comfortable count, and then slowly exhaling. These are not my typical yoga pants. I've been cleaning windows and washing curtains and doing things like that the last couple days. So, and it's been freezing. It's just been so, I don't know, it's been cold to me. So I've had on hoodies and sweats and t-shirts, and so these are my favorite sweatpants, but they're not really yoga pants. They're a little snugger at the top than I would like typically for yoga, but I've had these since college, and so they're kind of like a badge of honor. They don't have any holes in them. They don't have any stains on them. They're Gap, so I think that's why they've lasted so long, because they're Gap when Gap was like, 25 years ago and really good quality. I'm trying to think, how old am I? College. Okay, not 25 years, more like 20 years. 22 years maybe-ish. But anyway, so I'm a little uneasy wearing these pants for yoga, but it'll be okay. My favorite ones are in the wash. So back bends today. You're lying on your back right now. Some of you, when I say the word back bend, you may instantly tense up and think, oh no, I hate that. Others really love back bends, but some people really don't like them. They don't like even just the thought of doing them. I don't hate them. I don't love them. I'm kind of ambivalent to them. I don't really feel anything. I think they feel nice when they're over. I think your back feels nice and your shoulders feel good and your chest feels good when it's over because you've opened everything and created some new space. But in general, I don't really think twice about back bends. I just do them. They're just part of my practice. So if you're somebody who's really anxious that we're going to play with some back bends, rest assured they're not going to be huge or crazy. And I'm always going to give you options to make them a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. And you can pick where you fall on that scale and then make them perfect for you. And if you're doing a back bend and at any point something feels really, really, really bad, don't do it. Come right out of it. You always want to protect your back and your knees, and I'm not there with you, and only you really know how your body feels. So if we do anything that doesn't feel great, then just come right out, okay? So eyes are closed, palms are up. Find your breath. Start at the top of your head, work your way all the way down your body. Notice how you're feeling. Take a little mental note. I've been really congested the last couple days, right in the middle of my face. It's sinus, it's allergies, it's that season, right? It's that time of year. And so yesterday I got my humidifier out, I cleaned out my oil diffuser, trying to get myself all ready. It's inevitably going to end with me spraying stuff up my nose, because that's what always ends up happening, but I like to take the homeopathic approach to start. So we'll see. But that's how I'm feeling today. I'm a little bit stuffy and congested, so I just feel a little tiny bit headachy, like a little tension headache, you know? And maybe you're the same. So when we do jog, that may feel really good or it may feel really bad. I've said this before. I'm sure I've said it to you guys too, but my practice changes with the seasons because my body, the way I feel in my body changes with the seasons. So in summer, I like a little bit more rigorous. I like to move a little bit more. I feel a little bit more loose and flexible because it's warm and, you know, my muscles feel warmer. In the fall and winter, it's a little bit different. I like deeper and slower and forward bending and things like that. Things just to keep me feeling loose and spacious. So I've noticed even with my morning walks, because it's been colder these last couple mornings, I've been wearing a jacket or a hoodie, and I'm not sweating as much and I'm not getting as warm. And so by the time I'm done, I'm just not feeling as loose and as ready for my day as I was even a week ago. Still going to do it every day, but just not feeling it great. So I'm trying to figure out what I need to change up to make it feel a little bit better. So, I don't know. Okay, so you took note, you took stock. Bring your arms out a little wider. Pull the knees into your chest using your core muscles. Drop your legs over to the right and pay attention to the back of the left arm. Keep it grounded down through the back of the shoulder and the shoulder blades, all the way out through the fingertips. And either look straight up or look towards your left hand. If you are still considering joining me for some live outside yoga that Parks and Rec is offering, it's not too late to sign up for Wednesday nights, 6:30 to 7:30 at the Panther Park softball field right here on Bradford. And it's a 10-week session. Tomorrow will be our second class. So if you missed last week and you still want to sign up, it's still a great price for all the classes you get. And it's supposed to get a little bit warmer. So I think tomorrow night should be really great. The timing is perfect because as we get there and we settle and we unroll our mats, the sun just starts to set and then the lights come on. But it's really pretty to see the sun setting. And there's a lot we can do there that we can't do at the community center where we normally have class because we have that great fence surrounding us. So with the fence and a bunch of yoga straps, there are some fun things that we can do that we wouldn't normally be able to do. So if you need to get out and you want to do something in the fresh air, there's lots of space. I think it's about 25 people right now, but there's tons of space to spread out and feel safe and comfortable. So consider joining me. And also Parks and Rec. We have such a good Parks and Rec department in Cedar Grove. Also, Parks and Rec is pulling together the annual Real Panthers Wear Pink Walk, the breast cancer walk that they do at Panther Park. And there will be some free yoga there too. So you need to come to the walk, make a donation, and then you can take the class. And I believe the first 20 people that show up for the class get a free pink mat. So that's kind of a fun bonus. So mark your calendar, October 22nd, breast cancer walk at Panther Park. I think 6:30? I think 6:30, maybe 6 o'clock. All right, pull your knees up to center. Come on into Happy Baby, or one hand on each kneecap. Let the weight of your arms pull you wide. And then find a little movement on your low back. So one of my favorite things about back bending, if I had to pick a favorite thing, is that you can counterbalance with forward bends. And I really like to find the opposite of a pose and then do that when I'm done with the pose, just to put things back in place. Drop your legs over to your left. Pay attention to the back of the right arm. Keep it flush from the shoulder blade right in this area here, out through your fingertips. And then look straight up or look towards your right hand. So I like to find the counterbalance. So to me, when you're forward bending, a back bend is the balance. When you're back bending, a forward bend is the balance. When you're twisting, it's kind of nice to come into more of a neutral rolling spine. There's always something you can figure out if you picture the pose in your head of what the opposite of the pose would be. And I like to do that. So for back bending, I also incorporate forward bending into the class. So you get both, even though we're really focusing on the back bending aspect. And then hopefully with the two mixed together, you don't leave feeling like you did too much back bending or you stressed out your spine, or hopefully you leave feeling like you did the perfect balance and it was exactly what you needed. But remember what I said, I will give you lots of options for each pose. So the pose can be as big or as small as you want it to be, depending on where your comfort level is with back bends, as well as physically where your comfort level is with your back. It'll be good. Pull your knees up to center. Come on into happy baby, or one hand on each kneecap. Go wide and find your movement. And then roll all the way over to your right and come on up onto hands and knees for cat and cow. Okay, so spread your fingers nice and wide. Up until like 15 minutes ago, I was going to teach a totally different class, and then I just flipped the back bending. I don't know why. I was going to talk about the four corners of your feet and how important that is for so many of your standing poses. I think maybe that's what we'll do next time. I don't know why I switched today, but I did. So fingers are spread nice and wide. Toes are curled underneath you. Walk them in a little bit so that you kind of feel the stretch in the arch of your foot. And then just start to move on your breath. So you inhale, drop the head, press the spine up. Exhale, arch your back, and look up. I just found this t-shirt yesterday cleaning out a basket in our room. And I love this shirt. It says Avocado-holic. And so I'm probably going to wear it every day for like 2 weeks now because I'm so happy I found it. Keep moving on your breath. You know, I mean, maybe some of you aren't like me, but we have a basket in our room that like extra blankets go in and things that need to be fixed or things that need to be thrown out because they're stained, but I can't quite bring myself to throw them out yet. And this was in there and there's nothing wrong with it. It was just mixed in with the junk. But cleaning windows and curtains yesterday kind of forced me to move stuff and vacuum under things that I don't normally take the time to vacuum under. And I felt like I had such a productive day, but my allergies just went into overdrive because the dust in my curtains and things like that. So keep your hands where they are. Right leg behind you. Curl the toes under. Can you see my toes? Curled under. I'm just pressing out through my heel, not moving my hips. I want to imagine that someone is holding my hips and not allowing them to pull back. I'm lengthening from the hip socket out through the heel, but I'm not moving the hips to do it. And then pull that knee in. Same thing on the other side. Press out through the left heel. Don't move the hips to do it. Okay, we're going to come into a wide knee child's pose, which is our first forward bend of the day, right? Arms are out in front of you, forehead or chin down to the ground.
Okay. No?
Okay, so I want you to keep your legs in the position they're in, but I want you to look up and watch me for a second because this is a little trickier to explain. It's just a quick, simple shoulder opener that we're going to do as we do our child's pose. Okay? So watch me for a second and then start to do it yourself. Forehead comes down. Hands interlaced.
No, it was a little while ago.
Okay, and you're just going to move the arms up and down, trying to bring them down to touch the back of your neck. Doing one or two more. Okay, and from here, we're going to come back up to hands and knees and pop right up into our dog. Relax your head. Move it around a little bit. Bend your knees. Lift the hips high. Drop the heels. Inhale forward into a plank. Engage the core as you go. So you support your low back.
Okay.
And then from here, we're going to come into a moving cobra. So your hips are going to drop. Unclench your butt. It's magic that I know you're doing that, right? It's like I have ESP. Curl the toes under, lift the hips, come on up into dog. Inhale forward into plank. Engage the core. Drop the hips. Unclench. Make sure the elbow creases aren't facing me, but they're facing in towards one another, so you know you're not hyperextending. And then press back into dog. And we're going to do that one more time. So inhale forward into plank. Hips to the floor. Find your cobra. Drop the shoulders. Make sure you can speak, right? You don't want to be so tense and tight that you can't talk. And then press back into your child's pose. So we're counterbalancing our 3 cobras with a big forward bend.
Left side. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, come on up onto hands and knees. Find your cat and cow for a second. Start to move on your breath. Cat and cow is interesting when you're talking about forward bending and back bending because you're doing a little tiny bit of both just by doing the pose, right? When you do your inhale, you press your spine up. That would be your little tiny forward bend. When you do your exhale, you arch the back and look up, stick your tailbone up. That's a little bit of a back bend, right? So from here, move through 2 or 3 reps of cat and cow and then find your way up into dog.
What works with page 4?
I'm wearing the wrong sports bra. I can feel it. You know how you have ones you love and ones you don't love? I can't bring myself to throw out the ones I don't love. And I actually do love this one. It's just not the right shirt for it. Okay, you're going to walk your hands back to meet your feet, coming into a pike at the back of your mat. Also a forward bend. We're going to cross our arms at the elbows, press out through the backs of our knees to lengthen our hamstrings a little, and then release the head. Cool, my hamstrings are super tight today. I think I know why too. Come on up to stand, roll up, and then find your place on your mat. I have been wearing my other running shoes. I have a favorite pair right now that are orange, and then I have my other pair that are black, and they're the same brand, different styles, but I've been wearing the black ones because I washed the orange ones because they got super muddy on the trail the other day, and I've been letting them air dry, and they just don't have the same arch. And I think that's why my hamstrings are feeling so tight. So what we're going to play with is mountain pose for a second. Mountain pose is a pose that we use to transition from one to another. We do it in sun salutation. We do it when we're doing a bunch of things, but we don't often even call it a pose. We just say come to stand on your mat. But coming to stand on your mat with your feet hip width and parallel, head of the arm bones rolling back and down, palms forward, head just in a nice level place. This is mountain pose. And so from mountain pose, I'm going to turn sideways. From mountain pose, we're going to inhale our arms up, and then we're going to find a little back bend. And the way we're going to do it here is to soften our knees, hips come forward, and we just start to reach behind us. Inhaling up, exhaling into a forward bend. I like doing that simple back bend in mountain pose because I definitely hit a place where I can feel my core start to tremble. And I like that. I feel like that's a safe, easy, supported back bend that allows me to push my limit a little bit and maybe go deeper into a back bend than I would in another pose. So from here, inhale up to 3 flat backs. 1, 2, and then your 3rd flat back, and forward bend. And now we're going to swoop our arms all the way up, bring our hands to our heart in prayer, and we're back at the beginning of mountain pose. So we're going to do that a couple times. We're going to do that maybe 2 more times. And each time you find that little back bend just reaching behind you, try to go far enough. Play with it a little bit. Try to go far enough that you feel your core start to vibrate. Okay? Just see if you can get to that point and maybe not go past that, or maybe even go past that a little bit the next time we do it. But just try to get to that little point where your core vibrates. Okay? So, sweep the arms up. Find your little back bend. The knees soften, the hips go forward. Inhale up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale up to a flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale up, flat back. Exhale and fold. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. Now we're going to sweep the arms all the way up. And then bring them down to our heart in prayer. And we're going to do that one more time. So find your mountain pose. Inhale the arms up. Find your little back bend. Inhale up. Exhale. Swan dive to the floor. Inhale up to your flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. So we're going to stay here in our forward bend. Cross your arms at the elbows. Bring that little extra weightiness to your upper body. And then release. And from here, we're going to make our way down onto hands and knees. And we're going to go right into our cat and cow for a second. Did you get the tremble? I don't know if you could see it with me, but that's one little tiny back bend that I always can feel it on. Other back bends, not really so much, but that one I can, because I'm really lengthening out through the crown of my head, through my arms. It's like a big swoop off the top of your body. Easy one to play with at home, because it's not a scary back bend, because you can pull it back whenever you want to, you know? Okay, so from here, we're going to come into downward facing dog. And then we're going to do a little bit of a series of some low lunges and incorporate some back bending into our lunges, which you may find a little bit more intimidating because you're in a little bit of a balance pose, and then you're adding a back bend to it. So the option would be to come down on one knee, which I'll show you, okay? So come on up into dog. Bend your knees, relax the back of your neck. All right, you're going to walk your hands up to meet your feet, coming up to the front of your mat. We're going to inhale up to 3 flat backs here. Inhale up and arch. Exhale and fold. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale and fold. So the right foot's going to step back into a long lunge. So your two options for this pose are to do a traditional lunge, which would be a high lunge like I'm in right now, or if that's a little much for you, come down onto the back knee and just stay here, okay? I'm going to do the higher lunge version, but the only thing that's going to change is the legs. The arms are going to be the same for both. So regardless of what lunge you're in, come on up. Bring your arms out to your sides, palms forward. Inhale the arms up. And then from here, you're going to do the same back bend we just did, reaching behind you, lengthening from the tailbone out through the crown of your head, seeing if maybe you can find that little tremble.
Who wants to do what?
And then coming up and going forward. And then we're just going to hang out here as our forward bend for a second. And then step up. So if you did the low lunge, just switch legs. This is when you would switch legs. If you're here, you're going to step back with your left foot, coming into your lunge. Hands up.
Okay, good.
Okay, so everyone's in some variation of a lunge, whether it's a low lunge or a high lunge, right? Arms at your sides, palms forward. Inhale up. And find your little back bend. And then come on forward. We're going to stay here again as our little forward bend opposite. And then we're going to make our way into dog. And hang out here for a second. Come on down. Go into your wide knee child's pose, please. Come on up. So, what we're going to do next is 1, 2. We're going to do 3 different variations of camel. So you can pick and choose what feels best and what you want to do and what you don't want to do. And again, the option, there's a couple different options for making it deeper or making it not quite as big of a pose. So we'll just do it as we go. I'm on my mat on a carpet. If you are on your mat on a hardwood floor or on a tile floor, you might want to fold your mat up a couple times. If you hear him screaming, this goes on all day. He's wearing earphones and he's talking to his teachers on the computer, and he can't seem to do it in a normal voice ever. So, camel. It's like your head is just I know. All right, so what we're going to do is, let me think this through. We're going to do half camel first, okay? Upper body for half camel should be the same for everybody. Lower body, it might be where we switch it up. No, we're all going to do the same half camel, okay? So half camel, toes are curled under. Got that? Okay? When your toes are curled under and you're doing any version of camel, you're not reaching as far down to get your heel. If your foot is flat, you have to reach further down to get the heel. That means a bigger back bend in the low back. So that's just one way to kind of self-regulate your camels, I guess. If you're ever in a class with a teacher who doesn't give you the option of doing a lower version, all you have to do is curl the toes under, and it's not as big of a back bend. So for half camel, just to start with, that's what we're going to do. We're all going to keep our toes curled under. We're all going to bring our hands to our low back. My shirt is so bunchy under here. And we're just going to start to press our hips forward, bringing our shoulders back, letting our head drop back a little, And I know for me, when I do this as a warm-up, I feel it much more in my quads, in the front of my thighs than anywhere else. So I don't know where you're feeling this, but you're doing this just as a little bit of a warm-up, and you might be surprised if you feel it in the front of your thighs. Okay, let's start with our right hand to the right heel, left arm up in the air. Hips are coming forward, head is dropping back. You can breathe, you can talk, not too tricky. If getting your heel at all is too much, keep your hand on the back of your hip and extend your arm up that way. So that's another way to make it a less big pose, but still get a great benefit. So same thing on the other side. So now left hand to left heel, right arm up.
Sorry. Maybe next time.
Okay, come on up.
I put the greatest symbol.
So next is, my shirt's creeping up. So next is full camel. Full camel though, you've got a couple options. You can start with your heels high and bring one hand to each heel, dropping the head. If touching your heels at all is too big, keep the heels turned under, keep the toes turned under. Hands to the hips, push the hips forward, drop the head back that way. And if you're feeling pretty loosey-goosey and you're good to go, feet come flat, one hand to each heel, hips forward, head back. Okay, so pick your camel and go for that. And we're just going to do it twice. We're going to hold it for maybe 10 seconds at a time, come up in between, go back again. Okay, so find your version, get yourself into it.
Yeah, I put it.
Come on up. Find your child's pose. Let's counterbalance with our forward bend. Okay, one more camel, okay?
What if we have to guess it?
So, hips are coming forward, right?
Oh.
Head is dropping back. Pick your version. I like to do flat feet, but that may not work for everybody. My back tends to be pretty loose. That may not be you. So you do whatever's best for you. I gave you lots of options here. Reach for whatever you're going to do. Drop your head. Come on up. And child's pose again to counterbalance the back bend. All right. So from here, we're just going to do a couple stretches on the floor, and then it will be time to go right into your Shavasana. So grab your blanket or your towel or whatever it is that you perch yourself up on, just to tilt that tailbone a little, and come wide with me. Oh my gosh. College, these sweatpants. I remember they were from when Gap first started to make like their athleisure line. I think I had a hoodie that matched them, but that's long gone. It's going to be a sad day though when these suckers wear out, but nothing. Good as the day I bought them. All right, so let's start to circle. Mix the bowl, right? I'm going to my left. You can go in whichever direction you prefer. You can make your circles as big or small as you're comfortable with, and then switch it up and go in the other direction. And then from here, we're gonna go right into the middle. Quick transition, right into a forward bend in the middle, like you never even realized it was happening, right? Go as low as you're comfortable going here.
This one. Left side. The one that's left side next to it.
Come on up. We're going to do a quick twist. So right hand to the outside of the left knee, left fingertips behind you. Twist and look over your left shoulder. Come on back to center. Same thing on the other side. So left hand to the outside of the right knee, right fingertips on the ground behind you. Sit up straight and tall. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, twist and look over the right shoulder. Come on back to center. One more side body stretch, staying wide so that you open your hips a little as you go. Right forearm down on the outside of the right hip. Left arm up and over. And then come on up. Same thing on the other side. Come on up. And from here, you are going to lay down and go right into your Shavasana for a couple minutes. That was good, right? This might be one of my favorite little classes that we've done so far. Anything that gets your blood flowing, anything that keeps you moving, anything that keeps space in your joints, anything that keeps the stress level and the tension level down, especially in the middle of a global pandemic. Can't forget that. It's got to be good for you, right? So even if you take a yoga class with me, with anybody, and you think, that wasn't such a great class, it was still better than doing no yoga at all. So still better than doing nothing. Close your eyes. We're just going to stay here for a minute or two. Find your breath. Let your body settle. Start at the top of your head. Work your way all the way down. Notice how you're feeling. Notice where you've created space where there wasn't space before. And take a moment to thank yourself for taking the time for a little self-care.
We just had a lockdown.
Start to deepen your breath a little. Become a little bit more aware of your surroundings. Start to move your fingers and your toes a little bit. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. Pull yourself into a ball. Roll to your right. And come all the way up to a comfortable seated position. Hands come to heart in prayer. Okay? I hope you feel good. We're going to take a nice deep breath in together. Exhale the breath. Inhale. And exhale. Namaste. So, two things. Remember what I said. It's not too late to sign up for outdoor classes through Parks and Rec. If you'd still like to join me on Wednesday nights, 6:30 to 7:30 at the Panther Park softball field. Big group, but lots and lots and lots of space to social distance, so it works out really well. And I will see you back here next Saturday, thanks to the Cedar Grove Public Library. So have a great week. Get out there and walk and do whatever else it is you do besides yoga. And maybe we'll talk about that a little bit next time too. How you have to do cardio and yoga and why. Anyway, I'll see you in a couple days. Take care. Bye.